Hi everyone, it's Robin. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to share this project I did for a friend who lost her mother last week, and I was with her. We were making the memory boards and everything, and I saw this picture of her and her mom, and I just really loved it to pieces. So I had gotten a copy of it and decided to make her something. Well, of course, she's always going to think of her mom, but just as a gift and something comforting to look at. I'm using some papers for my 6x6 paper pads. I have the Pier collection, and I have Neapolitan by Dear Lizzie. And then I have a scratch sheet of paper that I got. I believe it's from that new, not scratch sheet, the sheet here from the new Maggie Holmes collection. I could be wrong. That music paper doesn't make it on the page. And then again, I have some Dear Lizzie. And I wanted the feeling to be homey, to be mom-like, and she liked to cook, I learned, and I knew she liked to play bingo, and she loved florals and things like that. So I'm taking a design I saw Megan Russo do a few weeks back. She did this 4-square grid thing, and so I'm going to copy that design and just kind of make it look quilt-like, just kind of comforting and momish. So I'm just showing you some things I've pulled that I might want to use. That was that True Love pack I got from Michaels. I was going to use that old time postcard, and I'm not quite sure what elements I'm going to use for embellishments, but her mom did really like butterflies as well, so I know I want to put some butterflies on the page. And I'm deciding I want to mat this picture first, so I pull this out of the Dear Lizzie Neapolitan collection, and it's a really pretty pink-red color, and I just barely outline it, and it just makes the picture pop really nice. I decided to do black and white because I didn't quite know what color combination I wanted to use on this yet. And I didn't want it to be too busy competing with all of the different patterns, so that's why I chose to make that black and white. And I'm cutting these down, I believe I cut them down to 5.5 by 5.5. And I decided, see, I did this a while ago. I have 3 or 4 videos to voice over, and I get kind of confused as to what I did after I've edited them and everything. And then on top of that, nursing school, and I've had exams out the wazoo, so my brain is a little fried. Yesterday we had a homology and immunity exam, and then I had the cranial nerves exam, and yeah, I'm just a little brain fried, so excuse me if I stutter around. I don't really mean to. Of course, I'm going to be adding depth to this page, to the project, and all of the pieces, so I'm going to be inking around them. And I'm also going to be using my Zig marker to outline as well. I'm not sure if I show that or not, but I think I save you guys for most of that because you know I do that. And I really like this sheet of paper here because it kind of had like a light doily effect, and I just thought it looked really homey. It was really nice to meet some of her family too when they got together. Krista did everything herself. She made the bookmarks for her mom's service, and with a really pretty poem on there and all the details. And I guess she and her mom had always done that for family members for memorial services, so it was very important for her to do that for her mom, and they turned out beautiful. She was asking for help, so from friends and family to do all the cutting and everything and help with the lamination and all, but so I had gone over and I brought over some of my scrapbooking supplies, and when it came down to, she had put 5 bookmarks on a 8.5 by 11, and so she put scissors down for everybody to use, to cut them apart. And I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. Just wait here. And I got out my paper trimmers. I brought like 3 of them. And I'm like, this is how we're doing this. And I just started cutting, and they're like, that is so awesome. So yeah, that's how we did that. When I came across this bingo card, I knew I had to use it because there were some pictures that we were putting on the memory boards and stuff of things that her mom really liked to do. She loved to cook. She always had people over to eat. And there were quite a few pictures of her playing bingo and things like that. So when I saw that bingo card, I was like, I'm using it. And some of these elements I pulled out a lot of things, like I said, just because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to put on there yet. I didn't know her mom personally, but I was just like listening to stories and such. And I know Krista, so Krista and I met at college, the community college we both go to, and we met in PTK, which is Phi Theta Kappa, and it's the honor society. And she's a good egg. I like her a lot. Also paramilitary like myself. She was Army though, I think. Yes. So I'm going to be able to, I pulled out a regular doily, but I end up not using that. I use up the other half of the doily you see in the bottom right corner. It's a sticker, and it was a Heidi Swap sticker, I believe, that I got from Michaels. So I was pretty excited I got to use the other half of that, and I'm going to take some of those butterflies off of there too and use those as well. I really like these florals, but I wanted to make sure that they weren't right next to each other, so I put them at a diagonal. And I don't really use craft a lot, so I was kind of excited to use craft paper as a background, and I really like it. I think it makes it look nice. But Krista was very, very touched. She's not a very emotional person, like in front of you or whatever. Well, I guess she can be, but she was really touched by the gift. And you don't know what people are going to think, if it's their style or if they like it or not. But I just think it's something. She hung it because I put it on canvas, and she hung it up in her living room. So that made me feel good. I'm like, if it's not your style, you don't have to put it up anywhere, or put it in your room or wherever. And she said, no, it's going on my living room wall. She was very touched, so that made me feel good. I felt good making it. And she said her mom would have loved it too, so that made me feel really good. I mess around with placement quite a bit on this layout, but the end result I really like. This is a wood veneer butterfly that I had actually used my Wink of Stella markers on to color it up, and it turned out really neat, but it was just so different from everything else on the page, I ended up not making it or not using it. So I set it aside for another project. I'm definitely seeing it more on a summertime card because it turned out really, really pretty with the different colors, and I kind of faded them together. So now I'm just cutting out one of these mason jars from the Dear Lizzie collection. And I'm going to take some of this baker's twine and wrap it around. And this particular one doesn't make it on either. I end up using a smaller one. And that butterfly clip up there on that postcard, I loved how that turned out. And I got that this summer at Joann's. I think it's by Prima. I'm not for sure. But I was looking around for what I had butterflies. And of course I have my butterfly punch from Martha Stewart, but I just wanted to use some of my embellishments and add different textures on there. I do take a scrap of that paper that I mounted the photo on, and I use my Stampin' Up! Punch. They no longer sell it, so if you want it, you have to look on eBay or somewhere. That's where I got this one, and I paid it was crazy. I think I ended up paying $24 for it after it was all said and done, but some were going for, I was bidding on the newer style, of that stamp, and it went for something like $40, $50, $60, and I was like, yeah, I like it, but I'm not paying that. And then I saw this one. It was the older style, but I did not care, and it punches just fine. So I was very, very lucky. You can see that butterfly down there that I colored up, and it's really pretty. I did the center green, and then I did orange after that, and then the tips of the butterfly yellow. Blended them together, and I used those Swing Castella brush markers, like I said. But once I decided not to use that yellow picture frame, that's when I decided not to use that butterfly. Now here I'm just changing sides a little bit, and I decided to mount that postcard too. I didn't want it getting lost on that floral, and I fussy cut out one of those envelopes, and there's blue in the bingo card opposite corner that I'm messing with right now, so that's why I pulled out that blue envelope. I wanted to integrate the colors everywhere. And I do not mind at all that picture is not smaller. It's a 4x6, and I like how it kind of goes into another quad there, and I just thought it was really, I love that mason jar, but I was having trouble making it work. And at this point, I think I was still kind of thinking on a title, but in the end, I came up with Forever in My Heart, My Mom. And her mom passed away of breast cancer. And Krista, she had lived with Krista since before the holidays, and Krista, while trying to go to school and doing all this, took excellent care of her mom. And the last few weeks, the poor woman was just in the hospital all the time, so I felt really bad for Krista, but she she has an amazing support system and just took really good care of her mom. So anyway, I think I'm jumping around here. I had fussed a lot. As you can see, the top right corner, or I'm sorry, the top left. I get my right and left mixed up now because of nursing school. Because we talk anatomically, so like we're talking like someone's facing us. So my right and left are mixed around because you're talking about the patient's right and left, which is opposite because they're facing you. So I apologize if I get my sides all mixed up, but that I'm really not crazy, I promise. But the top left-hand corner now has 3 butterflies, and I used those. The one was a punch out that I mounted the photo and that postcard on, and also that banner. I mounted it all from that piece, and then the other 2 butterflies are from the sticker sheet that I was telling you about, and that peach-like doily is now behind that postcard with that paperclip butterfly in the top right quadrant. And I really like how that worked out. And you can see I brought in a smaller mason jar. That tape, measuring tape so to speak, was the end piece that I cut off. It was the branding strip that I cut off from that 6x6 paper. I wanted to use it because it matched that green perfectly. And here I just decided a smaller mason jar was better, and I still wanted to use the twine. I really liked how that looked. And then I think I just stapled it right in the center of the bow. And I cut down that bingo card quite a bit. You can still tell it's bingo, but it's just not as overpowering and out so much. Added a few sequins from, I want to say it was Lemon Lush from Studio Calico. It's a very pale yellow, really, really pretty. And the font, the Forever, Heart, and Mom, are red cardboard thickers that I got from American Crafts. I think I got them at TJ Maxx or Marshalls or somewhere. And then in this black font are stamps. I used some close to my heart alphabet stamps. So there's different heights there, and I like that because the thickers pop up and then the stamps obviously are flush onto the paper. I really, really liked how that turned out, and I'm just using or adding a little tag up there underneath the picture. And I had stuck a little piece of doily on the bottom right cluster on the side and tucked a little tag underneath the picture as well. And I'm sorry, right now I can't think of what it says. I think I stamped it on there, but we'll see at the end when I hold it up to show you. And right now I'm adding pearls to the butterflies' bodies. I love to do that because I just think it looks so nice. And again, when I think of moms, I think of pearls, and I think this kind of had a nice little quilt effect, especially using my Zig marker and outlining each 5x5 sheet of paper there. Excuse my hair. This was in the morning and I was not done up. I'm just using my clear Wink of Stella just to give a few things just a little bit of shine. And I also use from the sticker sheet, and that banner right there, it says Moment Captured. So I didn't want to do too much, but I wanted to make sure each section had enough. Did I take a butterfly off? Oh, I put it, okay. So that third butterfly that I had in the top left quadrant, I put down on that mason jar, which I liked because then it pulled that element down there as well. And that mason jar had some really light colored misted hearts in that bottom corner of it. And I really like that. So I'm kind of emphasizing that area. I don't think I show putting it on the canvas, but it was not the easiest thing to put down. I used my ATG gun, and I also used glue. Some of my Scotch quick dry adhesive glue. So if anybody has some, I mean, it stuck on there fine and it worked out fine, but I just don't know how everybody else adheres things onto canvas. So if you want to give me any tips, that's awesome. I am so thankful for all your guys' advice and help teaching me a little bit about watercolor paper from that last layout I did last week, Winter's Beauty with the bird and using the gelatos. I was blown away by all of your sweet comments with that layout, and I was deeply, deeply touched, and thank you so, so much. You all are so wonderful. And I made some really good friends here on YouTube that I'm very thankful to have. Okay, here we go. Oh, I also added black photo corners on there too. I forgot about that. See that doily? And I added a red sticker there on the envelope, little 3D sticker. The butterflies and the stamping. Oh, unconditional love. That's what I put on there. Unconditional love. It's Krista and her mama. So thank you so much for joining me. Rate, comment, and subscribe and let me know what you think. Have a good day. Bye.